Hi, folks. Thank you and welcome to my stream. Actually, first of all, thank you all for your support. I know yesterday on my Discord channel, Frank was just answering me because I mentioned that I was supposed to be doing my stream on Wednesday, but because of some family news, unfortunately, my great uncle-in-law passed. Got the news yesterday. It was really strange because only on Monday or Tuesday he was admitted to well, actually maybe Monday, he got admitted to hospital. But for his age, he was holding up pretty good until then, I guess. And he was in the nursing home, and so they sent him to the hospital. And then, unfortunately, yeah, we were told that it's kind of happened pretty sudden. So I was then up in the hospital, or actually not hospital, but they took him back to the hospice because I think they realized that it might be a little too late, unfortunately. So they thought, okay, he could go back to his nursing home hospice care. And then went to see him just Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, like basically I was like having meetings and all of a sudden got the news that he passed. So it was sad, but at least I think the nice thing was he passed away peacefully. He slept, fell back into sleep. Actually, when I went to see him on Tuesday, he was already sleeping. So yeah, so please say some prayers for him. And for me too, because I do believe, there's he is entering a new life, right? It's really the life that we are all called to be, and yeah, strange. But anyway, if you guys wanted to talk more about that, I can talk to. And hello, Pusnabo. Thank you so much for joining, and you have been always so kind to me. So thank you very much. And like I said, I owe you too because you've been asking me, and I finally am kind of back home now, and then I can do a proper stream because then last week I was in at the conference in Comash, and then yeah, then I didn't get all my setup correctly set up. So yeah, so thank you, Fusnabo, thank you so much. And I think other people who have joined me, thank you too. But one thing too I wanted to point out on my Discord too, I was hoping to get in touch with Timeless Potato, who was here for a long time. Actually, I'd say probably for the last year almost, maybe just almost as long as I started doing this stream. So all of a sudden, because I thought she was the one, I'm assuming is a she because she told me the name is actually Anna. So and based in somewhere in Europe, right? So anyway, he or she, put it that way, and he, basically was kind of asking to start a Discord channel to tell tech jokes, right, and fun stuff, and it's really been going well. And I have to admit too, because I've been busy, so I didn't, every day I couldn't pay attention every day. Anyway, so I was kind of all of a sudden was thinking, right, and some of the things that Timeless Potato posted was really funny. So I thought, oh, let me message her or him and And then I found out, oh, where is she? It came back to me. It was just saying that it can't find this person. So that was a bit of a shock. So Timeless Potato, if you are online now, please join back. We miss you because you're the one who's kind of initiated, essentially told me to start this technical jokes and fun channel. I really enjoy it too. I hope others did too. So anyway, so that's that. And then other things, yeah, if you have anything to share with me, let me know too. But otherwise too, I'm thinking, right, in the past few weeks, I've been in and out, on and off like that. And also now I'm at HiveMQ. And as such too, I like to continue doing the stream, and I feel that there's so much potential, right, in doing IoT messaging. And to me, I feel like, yes, I may be talking about IoT messaging, but the thing is too, I think, technically speaking, you don't necessarily have to only apply it to doing IoT messaging. You can potentially, right, you can kind of experiment with other things that can leverage on PubSub messaging, right? Lightweight, running in very constrained environments too. Nothing stop you from experimenting with it. But to me, I feel actually PubSub, any kind of asynchronous style of process, going to be kind of becoming more like relevant in today's world. I think it's already showing, right? A lot of systems are using this kind of an approach of an event-driven type of approach and leveraging on protocols that are asynchronous in kind of nature. Yes, Fusnabo, you're asking, what is my new role? Yes, so I'm a developer advocate at HiveMQ. So, and also just a note to let you know too, HiveMQ is headquartered in Germany, so in Munich, near Munich, but not in Munich. They told me it's about an hour outside of Munich, called in a smaller city called Landshut, and maybe some of you might know, but maybe some of you might know too. It's pronounced as Landshut, so Bavaria region, right? So yeah, in Germany. So yeah, and oh, you've been to Oktoberfest. That's what everybody told me too. They are all hoping I can go to Germany, and also people were saying that, yeah, you should come and kind of experience Oktoberfest. I heard it's so much fun, right? So I would like, and hopefully, yeah, I would get a chance to go. So yeah, and also too, there are some conferences too. So I'm hoping too, like with all the COVID thing, once it's kind of all easier, right, for travel. But I think right now it is still somewhat restricted, but just requires a lot of papers and kind of testing and all those things. So, but for me, I'm hoping that it could, go back to the old way of life. The normal way of life is to like not have all these requirements, papers, and quarantine, and vaccine shots and all those things. So anyway, yeah. So for example, that's cool. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, BMW Museum. Wow, that's something I have to look for to do. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing too. Yeah, I think there's just so many exciting places in this world, and of course too, I think in Germany there's just so much like history, right? It's all of Europe too, so much history and stuff. I myself, yeah, I would love to have a chance to go there too. So yeah, and yeah, let me see. I think I should go back to my restream to look at to see if there are comments from other channels too. Guess what? I think on the YouTube channel, somebody is, again, there's been a lot of bots on the YouTube because I'm also streaming over to my YouTube channel too, although I'm not advertising that one, but that's all fine. You guys can join from Twitch, and that's what I'm using primarily. So yeah, thanks for sharing, Fusnabo. So yeah, so let's see. Oh, yeah, you're saying that what I was most excited for in the entire museum was the let's just show what Fusnabo is saying. Yeah, so you're most excited for in the entire museum was the FW190 engine. Really? Wow. What is that FW190? I need to look that up. So that must kind of like the engine for more industrial things. Yeah, I'm just not as familiar with that. So let me look that up. Right? You said let me kind of go FW, right? FW190. Okay. Oh, it's fighter aircraft. Okay, now I got it. Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and you're right, that is very true. It's essentially BMW is a company that manufacture, right, all these like a huge kind of aircraft to engines, right? It's essentially really an engine centric engineering company. So wow, that's very cool. Yeah. Okay. So wow. Yeah, I have to watch for that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so during World War II, that's very cool. Yeah, it's a radio engine. Okay, let's see. You said this is a radio engine, 2,000 horsepower. Wow, that is amazing. 2,000. Yeah, and of course these days when we drive the cars, is how many? Normally, like a regular car is what, like 100 something. Is that right? I kind of lost track of that, but yeah. But this is certainly very cool. Yeah, so it's a fighter type of thing. Yeah, that is very cool. I'm sure too. There's just like plenty of things we can see. Yeah. Oh, okay. So 100 to 200. Yeah, that's right. I think that's what I thought too. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Very cool. Thanks for sharing. And this is great to know, because then I will look for that when I get to go to Munich, and then also hopefully too we'll have some time to visit that museum too. And Fusnabo, if I recall, let's see, you are in Norway, right? Am I correct? Norway or Finland? Somehow I keep thinking of you are in Finland too, but you're actually in Norway, right? So yeah, I really would love, to be, yeah, Norway. Yeah, very cool. So I would love to visit Norway again. As I mentioned to you, I think before, I was in Oslo for a conference, right? Java been there. Java, what is it called? Java. Wait, Java Zone. Yeah. So Java Zone is actually very nice conference too. In Oslo. So I got to go that one year when I first became an advocate. I did not do any talks there. It was my very first conference. I actually helped out at the booth, the IBM booth at that time. So that's how I was there. But anyway, it's such a fun kind of like a great city too. And I walk around, you feel so safe and everything. So I really, really enjoy that too. So I have to make it to Norway as well. And other countries too, where you are at, anybody is at. So yeah, okay. Well, thanks again for sharing this engine information. So yeah, so as such too, I hope it is useful for you, because I know earlier I talked about Kafka, right? In fact, HiveMQ2, there's an extension SDK that you can actually use it for integrating with other software, other vendors, all of these stuff too. If you want to work with Kafka, we can make use of an extension SDK. I'm not sure if it's actually documented in here. This particular, okay, here we go, extension. But of course, too, we want to first kind of learn more about basics, right, of doing the basic HiveMQ development first. So once we get that, then we can also go into talking about extension development, because even I'm somewhat like eager to get into this aspect and try out different things, right, that HiveMQ can do. But of course, too, another note to point out is that HiveMQ has two editions, right? So one is the community edition, which is open source, and you can use it for free. Then there's the enterprise paid version. So the enterprise paid version is more intended for big companies, because they are going to need, things like, the observability things, of the fancier, like the control panel and things like that too. So yeah, the community version, I do have to admit, is a bit kind of limiting in that sense, but then you can also should be able to hook it up to with other libraries to do other things too. But like I said, I just wanted to point out, the extension development of HiveMQ2. But again, let me, kind of do a bit of refresher, because I think I was kind of not having done like a formal stream for a while. So why don't I kind of, again, go back, kind of roll back again, and then start from the HiveMQ, getting an example through Docker, and try that out, and then we can take a look at. So and let me see. And by the way too, I will be doing a formal kind of a webinar too at my company's. HiveMQ has this monthly webinar thing. So yeah, let me kind of try to find that for you too. And Fusabo, you saying something? See, you saying? Oh, wow. I've also noted, okay, let me kind of show what Fusabo says. I also noted that in the German, toy stores were dominated by good toys for future engineers, steam engines, and so on. Oh, okay. That is interesting. Yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool. So are you talking about you were in Munich? You also visited some of the toy stores there, and then they're having a lot of good ones for kind of how do you build things, right? So that's good for them, meaning that we're educating the youngsters, the young people. I think to me, I think it is so important, right? And it didn't. It only kind of started. I should say, I started kind of realizing the importance of. Us, having responsibility to pass the knowledge on to the younger generation. So for me, I think so far this year I haven't done anything to in that end, but I would love to get more involved, right, with helping the young people, and maybe just do like a kids, kind of a builder lab or something. And just like last week when I was at Comesh, and that's the nice thing about that conference, if you ever get to go there. So thank you, Fusnabo. I'm going to hide that for now. So thanks for sharing all of this information. And then you pointed out too, is that, we need to be sharing and educating the youngsters. So last week, right, I was at Comesh. So let's kind of take a quick look at this too. Again, just share with you about that conference again. I know I haven't been as good at keeping up with things because there's just too much to know, right? So this was the conference I went to last week called Comesh, and so let me share it in here. Comesh, right? Yeah. So so actually, if anybody is near, in the middle part of the U.S., right? So the closest city to Comesh, where Comesh is actually is the state of Ohio. So Ohio too is right by one of the lakes, right? If you are aware of all the geography, right, in the U.S., in the United States, kind of North America, because it also borders some of the Canadian provinces too. So the five Great Lakes, right, sort of like in the middle, kind of north central, U.S., right, north central, kind of bordering with Canada. So the five Great Lakes. So Lake Erie, the one that's kind of more south of it, if you take a look into the map, right, in south, and that's where Ohio, the state, is, right, just south of the borders with Lake Erie. So that's where Ohio is. And then Sandusky is where the city, where Comesh was held. And by the way, too, Sandusky too has some very exciting roller coaster. Why don't we take a look at that? I mean, not that I'm like advocating for it, but I love to kind of share and talk. So now that we are at it, right? So let's visit Sandusky. Because if you know too, actually Sandusky is not a very big town, and neither is it very so to speak, right, not like completely really like well-known city. So Sandusky, Ohio. So if you kind of take a look, I like to sometimes when I show places just show the map, so then everybody has a kind of a make some kind of reference to where you are. So I think it's important. But so if you're interested, Sandusky. So as you can see, right, it's just like right by the lake. This is Lake Erie. So let me kind of do that. So it's a little slow, my system. So yeah, so as you can see, right, it just give you a point of reference. It's loading slow. So yeah, so I meant to say the closest city, right, would Cleveland. So if you are familiar with Cleveland, that's kind of a big city in Ohio too. And then essentially too, if you kind of move over there, like as you can see, right, Detroit is just north of it. So this is Lake Erie, one of the five Great Lakes. And so for me, I'm in like Chicago, so I took the train there, by the way. And then luckily, when I came home, somebody, it's actually a Microsoft person, right? He's more of a consultant working for Microsoft. So he lives in Chicago. So he was like, oh yeah, just come and join me. So he drove, and essentially I got a ride from. So, but anyway, too, it's like a 5.5 hours of a train ride for me to get there. And I was going to say, let's take a look at Sandusky. It's exciting because of this one. If you are into roller coaster, right? So, okay. So Cedar Point, is what I want to show. Let me show you something. I think maybe in Europe too, you have similar amusement park, but I'm thinking, from a physics point of view too, it's also very exciting, right? So this place called Cedar Point. Like I said, I'm not trying to do any kind of promotion. I myself haven't been to that one, but I think folks should kind of, if you are a fan, of roller coaster, you should really check it out and look at this, right? So if you go to Cedar Point, okay, so I know we're talking about these things, but sometimes it's fun. So let me kind of share with you. Oh, over here. So Cedar Point um, is an amusement park, right? So let me share. So yeah, so if you are interested, right, in that, you can look that up, and maybe you already know if you're a big roller coaster fan. But I do have to say, when I was littler, I love it. But if you take a look, right, Cedar Point, and then rides and experience. If you look into there, wanted to show you this one amazing drop. Let me see. Okay, here we go. So rides and slides. This you would well, again, if you are, let's see the thrill level. Let's go to like aggressive. This is pretty amazing. When it first came out, this thing, I remember looking at that. I was like, oh my, you like can't help but be like scared. Now look at that. Let's close it. Okay, so corkscrew. I haven't been there, but this, as you can tell, it is pretty amazing. Cross current. Okay, so that's more water stuff. Gatekeeper. This one too, 50 inches, right? Well, you can do the math, but as you can see, Germanite is a bit of the kind of a fast thing too, but it's not as high. But then there's some jet ski and all these things. Magnum, that's amazing. Maverick. Now I wanted to get to the tallest one, which is, where is it? Oh my. These are being listed as most aggressive. Oh, these things Skyhawk, right? Why am I okay? Total. Oh, you know why? I was thinking of the name. Top Thrill Dragster. This is the one I wanted to show you. You wouldn't believe it. Oh yeah. So of course it is closed now because it's the winter time. But look at that. Isn't it like amazing? Anyway, I was like, when I first looked at, I'm, oh wow, this drop, you can imagine, in like 6 seconds, something like that. Yeah. 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 Oh, you roller coaster, but they can't be too exciting. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like so funny, right? I displayed this. So yeah, I know. Yeah. This one, I think it is true, not for everybody. I think they warn you, right? If people have heart problems, if they can't take it, you won't be able to do it. But like I said, this thing, if you like that, from a physics point of view to his top dragster, you should read about it. And like I said, like 17 seconds, but I thought it was even shorter. But the height is 420 feet. So I think feet, in terms of feet, is like what, 1 feet is like 2.2 kilometers. Is that right? So it's roughly, I don't know, like 200 kilometers, something like that, right? And yeah, it is pretty kind of amazing. So yeah, it's like 120 miles per hour. So that's, we'll have to kind of do all the translation. So anyway, I just try to look at it. I think the height of this guy, and you can kind of take a look at the YouTube too to kind of see that it's pretty amazing just looking at that too. Okay. Oh, so it is kind of Steel Vengeance. The height require. Oh, that's just requirement. But okay. Oh, so those are height requirement. I thought of that. Minimum height. That means you need to be at least 4 feet 4 inches, which is like how much now? I can never kind of remember. Right, feet to, okay. Well, you can do the math, and so it's roughly probably like a 12-year-old. I think that the normal height for that. Yeah. So oh, you saw documentary. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you should, if you like it. Yeah, you should kind of check it out too. Interesting engineering. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, 130 meters. So thank you. Yeah, that's about right. But anyway, I just thought I'd share with it, but that's where the conference is. So, but the thing is too, they always have it in the wintertime, and then it's at a water park. So that's a nice thing, is that it's an indoor water park. So it doesn't have all the thrill rides, but it's, if like kids, especially if there are if you have kids too, you may want to consider, if you ever go there, to join that conference, speak there or something, and try to submit your proposals and get accepted. You can bring your family so that the children can go to also their children's lab, right? They set up quite a few actually children's lab, and I was like very impressed too. Like children can make things, they do a lot of even like I think there might be something there on Raspberry Pi too, and doing some coding on Raspberry Pi, things like that, and also making different things and coding. like more with hardware too. But in any event, yeah. So that's the thing I thought I share with you. But okay, so that's that. So I'll leave that to you to explore if you want. See the point. I'll just leave this up there. But like if you want to come, so yeah, you can share with me too. Like if there are any places, right, say in Europe that are yeah, kind of having like that type of excitement. Yeah, so Fusnabo, and that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, I'll kind of say what they say. So your hometown, you have a pretty well-known, in Scandinavia, theme park. During the winter, the rides are closed, but instead they have a pretty amazing winter market and decoration. Oh wow, that is fun too. You know what? I think is that the one that they advertise or they have like a live stream on YouTube. I thought I have come across and saying something like a Christmas kind of live streaming and kind of really nice too. I remember looking at that. Yeah, I should search for that. Yeah, I think that's an exciting thing. Seems like in Europe too, you get a lot more of the winter Christmas type of outdoor kind of market thing. Yeah, but here too, I think in the US we have some too. But because of COVID though, say in Chicago, they would have like a so I think they mimic what the Christkindl market. So it's a more German style market to outdoor too. But because of COVID, they did not run it, at the 2021 Christmas kind of outdoor. So hopefully too this year we really have this whole, the Omicron thing. Looks like they said it's already like reaches already dropping down, right? Reach the peak. So hopefully all of us can kind of get back to more normal lives and by Christmas time we should have all of the things back to celebrate outdoor as well as indoor. So anyway, so okay, I was just talking about Comash. Let me go back to Comash too. I actually should go back there. So Comash, yeah, that's the conference. And like I said, right, there are different things and they have Comash 101. But see, they have all of these things, right? Scheduled speakers. So and my understanding is that they are going to be publishing the talks too. And for me, I presented my reactive talks there. And I also brought up a little bit about MQTT because even I was curious too when I was thinking, oh, MQTT is a pub sub type of architecture. It's actually, the idea, right, of this type of newer way of doing things. I think definitely too, we can leverage on like reactive streams for doing MQTT. And in fact, the MQTT client itself is actually implemented using RX Java. So as you know, RX Java, I was actually told RX Java isn't really reactive, isn't really because they are synchronous. They are really their calls are more synchronous style. Like for that, I still have to experiment or kind of look into the code to see how they do it, right? So it's interesting too in today's world, right? People are interesting if they learn about some topic areas, tackle it from one way and they didn't hear the word of say event driven. Then if you bring up something like, oh, this is event driven, they're like, no, it isn't, but actually it is. But because people's understanding is like, kind of, so to speak, right, kind of contained within what they know, so they may not, it may not make sense to them. So that's the thing I'm finding too is interesting for me. I'm trying to learn as much as possible because I don't think there's anything like really, let's say, absolute this or absolute that. Based on our understanding at the time, we may not have maximized, all the possibilities. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd bring this up because again, with MQTT and reactive, there are definitely the correlation, some kind of relationship because of MQTT itself, the client implementation is using RX Java and also Project Reactor, which is their reactive libraries. So they certainly have the reactive element in them. But like I said, right, I feel like reactive, all of these asynchronous style of processing in any systems probably going to become more and more like prevalent, so to speak, because honestly speaking, the asynchronous style, any kind of like loosely coupled type of processing is actually more of a realistic way of doing things than say synchronous way, right? That we're all used to, I feel. So yeah, and as full stable, and you say something, yeah. Let's see. You said, I wonder if they mean that Java NIO doesn't support that well async code. Oh, I think NIO, yeah, the new IO, right? It's actually, I thought NIO is asynchronous, isn't it, by nature? it will change with project. Yes, I think so. With the project Loom will definitely bring changes to how we look at things. Yeah, that would be interesting. I should really kind of get a bit more into actually project Loom coding. Maybe use the current version, right? That actually has the beta features of Project Loom. Let's take a look. Okay, so everybody look at Code Mesh already. So I gave you the link. If you're interested, you can look into it. And like I said, right, before I get there, there are Kids Mesh, right? You can see that. So that's for all the children. I think it's so good, maker space. And I could have joined some of those sessions, but because I was also doing work for work, so then I couldn't go to some of the sessions. So let me take a look. Oh yeah, NIO. Let me see. Let me kind of like see what you say. Okay, let's kind of share. So yeah, Java NIO returns futures, but last I checked, you need to block on them to get the data rather than registering a callback. Okay, wow. Okay, let's kind of let's take a look. I haven't thought of the NIO, but I'm sure. Yeah, like you were saying. So uh, maybe look into the NIO tutorial, right? Okay, so someone wrote about this. Oh, Yankov, somebody. Okay, um, it's non-blocking, that's for sure. But you're saying that you need to block on them to get the data. Oh, okay. So I see. So basically, the processing part might be asynchronous, but in order to get the data, then you actually have to do blocking call to kind of get it. That's interesting. Yeah. So claim to mean, oh, okay, so NIO is claimed to mean non-blocking. However, this is not what NIO meant. Also, parts of the NIO APIs are actually blocking. So okay, so the file, oh yeah, file APIs are, yeah, would be slightly misleading. Okay, well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to Phil Snapple, I don't mean to say double checking, but even I was like, oh really, let me see what the documentation says, right? Sometimes they're like all of these things. So yeah, okay. So and then you said something to, let me see. In Node and other environments, you can register callbacks to React when the data is available. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That is very true. Because it is true too. Actually, I think JavaScript itself, right? Node, all of these, they are by nature, they are their construct too, and everything is allowed for asynchronous style of programming. Even like before Java, right? Because say Java Stream, all of these are kind of enabling functional style of programming. All came out of Java 8. It's actually a bit kind of later than say some of the JavaScript type of capability, right? So okay, that is missing IRC on yeah, okay, yeah, okay, and let me see, missing IR. Oh, okay, yeah, and that is true. You reminded me. I really should go back to reviewing some of these things, and it's so good. That's why I also like to kind of talk about. Yeah, and you brought up good point, Fusnabo. Yeah. So let me see. You're talking about no, the single, yes, it's single threaded, so they rely on kind of cooperative multitasking IIRC. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but how is it? Fusnabo as such, right? You've been doing also some of the .NET, right, and also F# type of coding. How is it? How does the Microsoft framework, right, handle concurrency and asynchronous style of work? Yeah, maybe you can share too. Yeah, and then you mentioned that you want to join my stream. So anytime if you want to join, do you want to join now? I can add you too, because if so, you can come in and kind of talk a little bit too. That I think that would be interesting. I mean, if you're prepared to talk too, it's not like you have to, but if you're ready, just kind of let me know here. I can send you the on Discord, I can send you the link. You can join the stream here. So, but it is very interesting. Actually, now you mentioned about it. I think to me too. I think now the thing is that to deal with concurrency, right? In Java too, it's kind of no doubt we're using threads to handle it. So in Node side, right? If it doesn't support like multi-threading, then how do we do multitasking, right? So they rely on cooperative multitasking. So isn't it like, I think it's like coroutines and things like that, right? Those are actually they operate differently, right? If you kind of like take care of coroutines, or doing things using coroutines and that type of kind of construct, right? Am I correct? Yeah, I need to kind of do a bit of review. It's anyway, but okay, so that certainly is good. Okay. Oh, okay. So .NET is both Node and Java model. Okay. So when you talk about cooperative multitasking, right? So in what way, right? Are you talking about? Maybe that's what I should be asking too. Maybe I can look for. Yeah. Oh, that is not just good as that. It gets twice as complex. Oh, okay. So basically, you are saying you talking about like .NET way of handling it that it may not be as like convenient. I would like to study. Now that you talk about it, you get me all interested. So okay, so .NET I can search too, obviously. .NET handling uh, concurrency, right? Something like that, or am I correct? Yeah. Okay, so best practices in handling concurrency in ADO.NET. So I think, uh, am I correct then? Looking at the right thing, or maybe somebody in here. But these are old. This article is very old. Uh, what is ADO.NET? Am I looking at the correct things? ADO, but this is also an old article from 2015. Is it like data, some kind of access data? Yeah. Yeah, it's old stuff. Okay, all right. But I'm just kind of wondering. Somebody's asking in here too. How do you handle concurrency in C sharp? Okay, the general approach, and that's a little bit newer, 2021. So maybe we can kind of wait. Actually, this guy, right? We should be like handling conflict. Am I looking at the right thing? Yeah. Okay, this is kind of like, what is EF? Oh, so these are more dealing with EF, which is entity framework. Okay, so that's a entirely different kind of specific way. Oh, okay, so it's like a JDBC. Okay, all right. Concurrency conflicts in the DB. Okay, all right. So I searched for the wrong thing. So what I should do is kind of search for maybe the .NET framework in general. Is that correct? Concepts, right? Do they have do they talk about, I should actually do search, right? Do they have a search in here? Maybe like concurrency? Maybe like, I'm just this is again just more curiosity, right? It's always good. That's how we learn things sometimes, just talk about it, right? um oh, async await. Okay, all right, let me see. Let me follow your instruction. Async await. Oops, wrong. Also, asynchronous programming with async and await, and that's what Visual Basic. How come all of these comes back with the with all of seems to be more Visual Basic? Am I looking at the right thing, or is it async in depth? Async return types or async in depth? Can I look into this? .NET standard async in depth. That might be the right one. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is good. This article just came out 2022, so it might be helpful, right? I think that's what this seems like to be the right .NET fundamentals, right? Async in depth. Yeah, and this is a relatively new article. So okay, using .NET task based async model. So there's this thing, the task based thing, and the async and await keywords in C Sharp and Visual Basic. Okay. All right. And it explains how .NET async and provides insight into the async framework used under the covers. Okay. Um, oh, okay. I got it. So this is, thank you. Thank you. So this is Fusnabo's instruction. Again, I want to make this stream more like, a talk of anything, right? But even though say I'm just gonna talk about messaging, but you see what I mean. Sometimes you talk about technology, right? We bring up a lot of different types of concept, and then different frameworks, different libraries, different flavors of toolings have different ways of handling thing, and that's what is kind of fascinate me all the time, and I feel myself always so curious to want to know how. And I don't have to necessarily know it right away in depth, but just at least know enough, so then you really got to appreciate like how we all think differently, how we do things. I think essentially that's how I feel. um, Okay, so you're saying you can actually register a callback. Okay, but isn't it true though? And that's the whole point, right? Of reactive style of programming, reactive systems, is that we are trying to deter from using callback because, as you know, callback can get quite make the code looks very messy, so to speak, right? If you kind of have too many of these kind of calling in the future, and then all of these callback, it can really make the whole thing kind of not very aesthetic too. I mean, in addition to the fact that if you try to process and too many kind of callbacks, isn't it true? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you were saying send you a link to talk a bit on stream. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me do that, and let me send it to you in here. Let me kind of do this first. Let me see how I can. If I okay, here we go. Yeah. That would be great. Okay, I got it, and let me go to my Discord. And where's my Discord? I have too many things in here. Let me look for my Discord. I'll find your chat. Okay. Yeah. So I just sent it to you, Fusnabo. So if you want to join, you're welcome to join us. Yeah. Let me just get my. Is it? I hope it's not too loud, my music. So yeah. So here we are trying to wait for Fusnabo. Fusnabo, if you want to join, yeah, we're waiting for you. I hope it works too. That's the thing, right? Okay, me. Okay, let's see. I'm still not seeing you yet. But anyway, if you are just join me, right? Oh, here we go. Oh, so your name is actually Martin, right?
Hello.
Hello, Martin, right? Fusnabo. Yeah.
Kind of like Martin.
Yeah. Martin? Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, finally get to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And it's a bit late here, but I thought, what the heck?
Sure. Oh yeah, it's late. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, let me see. My stream. Oh wait, I'm not doing it too good in here. Let me see how I can put you on the screen without kind of blocking. That's another thing. Okay. They're like different layouts, right? But if I do it like this, then you don't see me, kind of thing. Let's do it like this. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that might be better.
So you had a question there about isn't callback?
Yeah, the callback. Yes, that's a question
discouraged,
about.
Right?
That's right. Yes.
And in Node.js, they talk sometimes about what you can say callback hell.
Oh yeah.
But that is the reason for. I mean, that's one of the reasons where this async await has been developed. I'm not sure it's on the page, but what you basically do in C# and more modern versions of JavaScript and Kotlin and these kind of languages, you type await. So you have a special keyword saying, I want to wait for this function to complete asynchronously. And
That's
then
right.
it kind of registers the callback for you behind the scenes.
That's right.
But you don't see it.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
So then the code doesn't look as, difficult to follow, maybe you can say, as if you didn't have async await. So that's fine. But there are drawbacks to this approach about asynchronous programming with event-based programming, because you kind of lose the call stack. Because that is kind of the point. Sorry, so if I'm talking about boring stuff, you just have to interrupt me here.
Not boring at all. Please go ahead. I understand. Yeah. So this is great. Yeah. This is great.
So, so one of the things you want to do with this kind of programming, and one of the benefits of synchronous programming is you can have a few threads servicing a lot of connections.
Yeah.
So that is sometimes called a 10K connection problem. Sometimes probably more these days. And
Okay.
the problem was that with the traditional coding pattern is you have a single thread handling a request. And what happens typically in web pages, you get the connection, and then you contact the database and look for a user or whatever it is, and then this thread blocks, waiting for the database to respond. And now this thread here is now not doing anything. So now the CPU has to switch to another thread.
That's right.
And that turns out to be quite expensive especially if we have 10,000. So then they kind of started to experiment with this, and especially Node, where you don't have threads. You have everything single threaded, so that doesn't work. So what they did instead there was that they, as far as I understand, they use this callback and say, while we're waiting, okay, I cannot continue on this thread here, so I'm going to release this thread and do something else.
Yeah.
But when you're done with the database call my callback, and then I can complete it. And then that can be cheaper than managing. It's kind of the same thing, but it's more like cooperative multitasking than preemptive.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they call back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you explained it real well. Yeah, that's what the callback. But isn't it, like you said, that there can be callback hell, right? If we kind of have too much, right? And
but that is one. I think most people think that is too much. The code style is upsetting. But when you type code in C# with async await, and in JavaScript, it kind of looks like normal code. It's just that you see these keywords await in different places. Right. And what actually is happening there at this await is that the code, depending a little bit what's happening, but the code will stop executing at that point. And then wait for the IO to complete and then continue when it's done.
Yeah,
so you get the callback, but you don't see it.
That's right. Yeah,
and it is complex, and as you can say, especially in .NET is complex because .NET supports both classic multithreading like Java and this kind of multithreading. So what happens when you mix these two together? It gets it's hard.
It can be
and also a tricky point. So once again, you have to interrupt me if I'm getting boring. Another tricky point here is that what many people do is that it's hard to understand that if you have a function in C# you see a function, and also in Java that is annotated with async. And that means that this function is asynchronous. But that comes back to what you mentioned before, that this function is a coroutine.
Yeah, that's right. Coroutine. Yeah.
And a coroutine is a concept from the 1960s or 50s. I don't remember. But basically, coroutine is like a subroutine, which we normally use, but it supports also that it can be stopped, yielded, and it can later be resumed. So a normal subroutine, you start it, and it completes to the end.
Yeah, that's right.
But a coroutine, you can start, and then it can say, I cannot continue for a moment, so I'm going to yield here and stop here, and then continue later. And the problem in C#, because you have both subroutines, that is normal code, and you have coroutines. When you start mixing these two together, it gets very awkward. Lots of bugs on these things.
Oh yeah, I can see. So basically, you're saying .NET can support both in the same virtual machine, right?
Essentially. Whereas Node only supports this model.
Okay.
And Java currently, as far as I understand, doesn't have async await.
That's not the coroutine.
If futures had callbacks, you could implement this kind of style program. But as far as I understand, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't.
I don't know if I'm right. I might be misinformed.
Oh yeah. But then I think you're right. And that's my understanding too. And then of course, like Kotlin, in fact, has coroutines too.
Yeah.
But it's Kotlin is essentially.
But Kotlin is limited by the JVM, right? So Kotlin is also using the NIO. So even though Kotlin might have all these coroutines features,
that's right,
you're still kind of limited unless you write your own IO library, and that's a big pain.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. You brought up essentially when you first brought up was the Java NIO. That's how we got into these discussions too.
Yeah.
But okay. Yeah.
And we talked about Kafka before. So, and one of the things, let me tell you a bit where I saw this problem with JVM, and when I've been thinking a little bit about it is where. So I mentioned to you before that I used to work in a place. I don't work there anymore. That they had a big Kafka cluster on it.
That's right.
And it basically the architecture consisted of two parts. One part that was doing a very CPU intensive task.
Okay.
And IO was important, but it essentially is CPU intensive. And then there was another part of it that was only IO, basically, almost no CPU involved.
Yeah.
And this was split in two parts, and I think that was very wise. But the issue was that because of the lack of async await in Java, we had to run this IO very IO heavy thing on like 30 quite big machines, which was very expensive.
Yeah, that's right.
And I believe from my calculations that maybe if we migrated that part to Node, we might have gotten away with like say maybe 6 machines.
Oh.
And that's a huge cost savings from doing that. But the other part, which was CPU intensive, I saw no reason to go from Java because Java works fine there. Yeah, Java is performant. So Node would be worse because Node is not as quick.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
Node is better on IO. So that was, but I never got around to do it.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, thanks for that insight and sharing your experience too. That is
because what this IO component did was that it read a message from the Kafka.
Yeah. Okay.
Which was just a bunch of bytes, which was already transformed because that was what this prior step had been doing. Yeah. And now it should write it to a web server somewhere. So it just took these bytes out of Kafka, which is an IO operation. Yeah. And now I'm going to write it to a connection, which is also an IO operation. So there's almost no data processing inside that layer. So nothing. But we had to run thousands and thousands of threads on each machine.
Oh, okay.
And if we start reducing number of machines, we hit the limit on the number of threads and it starts crashing.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah. So what type of applications are you working with? You said it's more is it accounting side now?
It's more like now it's more like I went from big data to more like small data.
Oh, big data.
So,
okay. Wow.
So what I'm working on now is not since you asked.
Yeah. No problem.
There's a very successful software in Norway, but that targets companies that have carpenters as users.
Okay.
Or companies of carpenters, and it kind of helps with building your invoice and tracking material and tracking hours and tracking. If you invite a carpenter in your home or an electrician, they're going to do a job for you. And maybe it's a big job. So you need electricians, you need carpenters, you need a bunch of people, you need to order a lot of things. You have a project leader, all these kind of things. And all these things they're going to bill you for in the end. And this program kind of tracks that for you.
Okay.
And then in the end gives you as a user, you get a sort of, here's what you need to pay. But for our user, they also needs to sort of, is this, are we making money of this? Or, it's like a project tool, it's project management kind of a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And that was hugely successful in Norway, still very successful. It has 2 problems though. It's only desktop. Because it's an old, it's written old COBOL applications.
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
1980s, sorry, 1980s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And all the developers are getting kind of old.
Oh, okay.
And it's very hard to find people to recruit.
To kind of do that. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So I'm one of the youngest in the office, kind of.
Oh, really?
Not the entire youngest, but I'm certainly not the oldest.
Oh, wow. But then, is there talk? Can you think of, or maybe it needs money. Is let's say if you rewrite, right? Can you essentially refactor or rewrite this system, or using some parts of it in new way of doing things? Have you been planning or involved with planning those? Yeah, kind of.
So it's kind of far already, right? But it's an entire new architecture because it's cloud-based instead of desktop-based.
Yeah.
And it's using a web application because that's kind of what customer expects these days. And then we have a backend system that are running services, and we have multiple backend systems. But where the old system was kind of more like a monolithic, that's not entirely true, but a monolithic desktop application which did everything.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And it's integrated. It's kind of like Access, if you know what I mean by that. Microsoft Access.
Access, yeah. That I think it's like a database thing, or is
it? So the mobile environment is like a more, bigger Access, but it's written in COBOL. But it's kind of the database is integrated with the development environment, and it's very quick to switch between something. It's very productive environment.
Okay. I see. Yeah. Well, that's true. Then if it's kind of doing its job, is efficient, then there's no sense of rewriting and
I mean,
yeah.
the old
It costs
environment,
a lot of
it
money.
was actually quite good.
Oh, okay. I
But
see.
it's,
Yeah.
it's customers expect kind of,
That's
I
right.
don't want to install stuff. I want to use a web browser,
Yeah,
these kind of things.
that's
And
right.
also developers today, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to work with a code base that is 40 years old and that
Oh,
is
oh,
written in
wow.
COBOL.
Okay. Very interesting. But you said you are doing some work in modernizing that part of it too, right?
Yeah. So what I do is like I work a lot of backend things.
Oh,
I'm more engaged in maybe the DevOps things
okay.
and creating metrics and these kind of things, but also been heavily involved in what is the database migration this latest
Okay.
time, and also integrations, which is a very important topic for us to bore you. But
No,
yeah,
no, no. Yeah,
no, yeah,
it's not
as
boring.
well. If I'm getting boring, you have just to stop me. But
Not boring. Please
yeah,
go ahead.
the
Yeah.
old system did everything,
Okay.
including payroll, which is very complex, and accounting, which is not so
Yeah.
complex, but it's lots
Yeah.
of laws again around it, which is not so
That's
fun
right.
to deal with.
Yeah.
So the idea here is now we should stop doing payroll because it's very, very complex. And we
Yeah.
should stop doing accounting because there's a lot of laws around that, which is
Oh,
also and regulations.
right.
So we focus on the product management with the
Yeah.
new system, but we now need external systems to handle
Oh,
the payroll and accounting. So
ah,
I've been writing integrations, and when it
yeah.
comes to integrations,
Mm-hmm.
the devil is in the details.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so that's what you're handling. Yeah. So, like, if you doing integration, so you're integrating like with outside systems. So you're also doing Kafka then, right? Or do you use
No, not
Kafka for
no, we
feeding
don't really
data?
use Kafka.
Oh,
It's
you
it
don't.
the when I came into the company, it used a service bus architecture.
Oh, okay. ESB, right? Enterprise
Yeah, there
Service
are
Bus.
many different ones, but this was an Azure service based, which is I don't know.
Oh,
But
okay.
the thing is, we don't we had the big problem with this Azure service based. So this is where we went a very controversial route. Was that uh, our target customer is not that big. They might have 10 employees, something like that, or like
Okay.
5 employees. It's not
Yeah.
a very big company, but we will have
Oh,
many of these companies instead.
Okay.
And one of the problems with the old service bus architecture for us was that when we start sending messages across the service bus for integrations, it's like, well,
Yeah.
are we supposed to have a service bus per customer?
Mm,
That would be a very small service bus because the customer is
yeah.
quite small, and it will end up costing us quite much money to have all these things running, and
Yeah.
also complex to manage. But if
Yeah.
we run them all in the same service bus, how do we separate the data so we don't send data to the wrong place? And
Right.
it's very important that we don't share data between companies
That's.
unintentionally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
another thing is that because we have so many, it's so important for us to ensure that most errors can be fixed by the users and should be fixed by the users.
Oh,
And the service bus that was built, the architecture was built was kind of built on the assumption that if something happens, the message goes into the dead letter queue,
uh-huh.
and the developer looks at it. And then
Oh,
the developer sees that the email address is invalid, but I don't want to spend my entire
yeah.
waking day fixing
That's
email addresses for
just
people.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Wow.
So
Plus,
we went with a completely different architecture, which is in many ways simpler, more monolithic, much
oh,
simpler to debug,
yeah,
and
yeah.
has some drawbacks.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. But you brought up also a good point too. Like you said, sometimes monolithic doesn't necessarily mean is bad because, like you said, from a point of view of if you manage them, if everything kind of together is actually easier to manage than it is if you have many different connections, many integration points, right, and that type of
Yeah,
stuff. So yeah. So
in a
but
service bus, you have all these messages flowing around the system, and
that's right.
it's
Yeah.
great when it works, but when it stops working,
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
and there's so many customers involved for us,
Oh. Okay.
it's hard. It was hard to envision how we were able to sort of when people talk about scaling, it doesn't scale. Well, if we need to hire 2 engineers per customer, which is 5 employees, right?
That's right.
And engineers,
Yeah.
We grow to like 8,000 engineers then. I mean, it's hard to find that many people.
That's right.
We will not be financially, we will not make money because it will be so expensive. So people will not go for it.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But if it was a big company, right? Let's say we were integrating Oracle now, but not maybe that big, but a really big company, another really big company.
Yeah, that's right.
Then I could imagine you could have this would be a very good solution with this service bus architecture.
Yeah.
But you would need to sort of have people to follow up when the integration fails, because integrations fails all the time.
Oh, that's right.
And so sorry for talking too much, but
no.
One thing that was much better in the old COBOL system was that it's like, let's say you need to move data from the COBOL system into some places, and you realize the email address is missing.
Oh.
In the olden days, the guy that wrote the integration, he opened a message box.
Oh, okay.
And showed to the user, the email address is wrong, please fix it. And you type it and fix it, and it continues. Now, when you have this, web front end, the back end, an integration engine, a service bus, and you somewhere down there, you realize this email address is garbage. How do I open the message box?
Oh, you cannot,
It's not easy to do so.
That's right.
And the user doesn't have access to the dead letter queue.
That's right.
And probably won't understand the dead letter queue if they had.
Right. Yeah.
So so what we try to do is kind of model. We need to propagate the errors to the users as much as possible for them to solve it as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay, I think I kind of understand now. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. There's so many things. Wow.
Failing email addresses. It can be so many small details that prevents an invoice from going out.
That's
and most of them is like, the user can fix it if they know about it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see where you're. I see where you're kind of coming from, right? The kind of systems you're dealing with. There are so many small details. Yeah. And I understand. Yeah. Well, thanks for.
And the idea in our world is we should be able to sort of be very agnostic about what system we are connecting. So if we were just connecting to this. To this specific system, maybe we can hard code the entire system to make that really good. But we are supposed to be quite agnostic, and then it gets, it can fail in so many ways.
Totally. Wow. Yeah, I can see. Yeah. Each type of systems have, the kind of challenges are all different, but you have plenty of challenges. Everybody has challenges. Yeah. But wow, thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you too for agreeing to come up and join and share. Yeah, that's very cool. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, you have anything else to share with us too, or since
I was saying, I don't know. Do you have? What were you planning to do today? You were planning to do some MQ?
Yeah, I was just thinking of getting into some more of the MQTT, because that's what I'm working on now and trying to introduce MQTT as a protocol that's ideal for doing IoT kind of applications and solutioning, right? So, but I just thought we can kind of get into kind of building up and looking into connecting an MQTT client to the running HiveMQ. That's the company I'm working for now. So HiveMQ has kind of designed their own MQTT broker. So and I think the last time I talked about it, right? Would you like to stay a bit too?
I can watch a little bit when you're working and ask questions. I have one question though.
Sure.
What license? You said it open source. What open source license?
Yeah, sure. And for the open source version, let me take a look too. There's community version, so that might be good. Yeah, let me kind of go back in here. Introduction. Let's see. Open source license. Let me see if they may not talk about it in there. In this one, to MQTT. No, that's just compliant. Yeah,
backend.
and I know what you mean. Yeah, even it's kind of good to know too. I wonder where, if I can say open source. Let me see if I can find out information on that. Complete of this introduction. I think like kind of like detail on that, right? Extension. This is
When you say open source these days, it kind of, in my head, the almost immediate question I get is, what license
which one? Yeah, exactly. Like which one, right? And you asked some good question. Even I should try to find out if it is supported version. I just have to search for the proper documentation. We're Oasis committee too, so that kind of governs the MQTT protocol. But of course, we implemented. Let me take a look. Maybe
So
I
I
need to
found there's a HiveMQ Community Edition on GitHub.
Community, yeah.
And there's a license file, and the license file says Apache 2.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, I should have been a bit more.
Yeah, it wasn't easy to find. So
yeah, it's not easy to find. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes when you look for things, we're looking at product, right? HiveMQ, maybe the product side. Yeah, there's actually a page about the different versions. So maybe that where you found it too? MQTT.
Yeah. So what I did, I searched for open source, right? But I didn't find the information on the page. And I think, in my humble opinion, I would be a little bit surprised by that, because I think that if you say you're open source, I think you also should say what license, because open source can mean so many different things to people.
You're right.
Some people have an open source, but it's just, you can just read the code, but you cannot use the code, but you can read it. Some people say it's open source, you can use the source code, but suddenly your source code becomes the same license. And that's more like free open source software. And then you have like Apache MIT, which you can use it, and it's
totally
without much problems.
And you're right, like you said, right? Sometimes development is all fine, but when you go to deploy to run, and maybe the runtime doesn't allow you to run for free and things like that, right? So there's so many things. But like you said, you found it here, and even probably good for me to know is that over here, right? Community.
Probably could be, but I can send a link here, see if it works in the chat here, and see.
Okay, yeah, commercial open source. Oh, maybe over here.
I send it to you in Discord.
You send it to me. Okay, you send it to me and in the Discord. Okay, let me kind of make sure I get there. I have so many things. Okay, cool. Yeah, this one. Let me see if it's if it can open up over there. Oh, it opens up onto my other. Let me see. Okay, thanks. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I can't open up in another. Okay, so it's Apache license. You found it in the GitHub. Thank you. Yeah, that's true.
It seems to be right. HiveMQ Community Edition. That seems to be
that's right. You're right. Okay, that's great to know. Thank you. Yeah, I like it when you kind of search for me. You are so good. You're so resourceful all the time. So that is cool.
I care about licenses.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. So that is great. So
so Apache license, that's a good license typically for people.
Yeah, that's right.
When
because
you want to get involved.
Yeah, because the other licenses could be GPL, right? All of these. Yeah. So.
GPL is complicated often to deal with.
Right.
That is. Just to give you an example, I asked about a hypothetical scenario involving GPL. Library. But I was just asking about, can they really say this? And they immediately responded, you cannot use GPL. No, I wasn't able. I was just setting up a hypothetical scenario. You don't have to panic. I'm not using it, but people are very in a corporate environment, very cautious on the GPL license.
Oh, okay. Wow. Because of more restrictions, right? And I suppose,
So a license, I'm not expert, but a license provides you with, terms or what you can do with it. So
that's right.
When I talk about it in open source license, they sometimes talk about freedoms and obligations. So you get certain freedoms if you fulfill the obligations. And the obligations of the GPL license is, one of the obligations is that you have to make if you take in the source code and mix it with your source code also becomes GPL.
And, that's how.
And if you distribute a binary compiled with that source code, so you write something, you take a GPL library, you use that in your source code, and then you give me a binary, then it's in my right to contact you and say, can you please send me the entire source code for the entire project, including the build scripts on how to build the projects to me?
Oh, okay.
And that's one of the obligations of GPL.
Oh,
so if you say, no, but I don't want to do that, but then you're not free to use the open source library you just used, because that's one of the obligations.
That's the obligation.
So if you don't want to fulfill that, you cannot use it.
Oh, okay, got it. But the thing is, there's no obligation that you have to give it unless you are being asked to give it, right? And it's
exactly right. Exactly. Okay, so you can use it, but so I mean, so you don't have to publish it, but you have to give it free of charge. There is some foundations there, but it changed. I mean, it's an old licensing change. But then you have this. But this, sorry, now I'm going to licensing mode here. But
no problem. Let's talk.
So the GPL license had two problems from the Free Software Source Foundation point of view, and one of the problems was, which made them furious, was that people found different ways to work around it.
Oh, okay.
So one way, Google used a lot of GPL software, and others probably, because what the license said is, if you ship a binary, because that's what you did before, you gave someone a program, you download a program, but if you provide a service like Google Search or something else like that, right?
Yeah.
Then you're not shipping a binary, and suddenly you're fulfilling the obligations of the license. You're not shipping a binary, so then you are free to use it.
Oh, that's how it works. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's complicated in that sense. Wow. Okay.
So, and the second case was that what also happened was that people started using GPL software in their hardware, and then you buy hardware, you find out that there's a GPL software in the hardware, and you have the source code. You can download the source code from them, no problem. So you download the source code, you compile it locally, upload it to the machine. It doesn't work because the machine requires the binaries to be what's called they need to be encrypted, or have a signature that is with the correct key.
Yeah.
So then it means you cannot hack your hardware.
Oh.
So with GPL3, they introduced the idea that in order to, one of the obligations is that if you ship hardware, you need to allow the hardware to be hackable.
To be hackable too. Wow, that is Wow.
And then there's a fairer GPL3, which also says that if you provide this software as a service that is reachable over network, now you have to also deliver the source code, like with GPL.
Oh, okay.
So the most scary ones for many people is a fairer GPL3.
Yeah, wow. That is, it is complicated. It is making it very, very complicated in that sense.
It's not so complicated. It's just you have to be careful. You have to know that these licenses are complicated. But let me give you an example about this, which can be interesting.
Okay.
So Tesla has a GPL problem. At least they had.
Okay.
Because they use GPL3 in their in some of the software, which means, according to the license, the hardware has to be hackable. So according to the license, you should be able to download the software, update it, and upload a new version to your Tesla car.
Oh, okay.
I think there are very good reasons why we wouldn't want anyone to do so.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's the obligation of the GPL license.
Oh, the license. Oh, okay. Wow. So essentially they're using GPL software for their components on the car.
Yes. So a lot of very good GPL software out there. So that they want to be, in order to build the software for the car as efficiently and good as possible, they use a lot of open source software, and then they share the changes. I don't think they are problem with that. But what they don't want to do is allow people to hack their cars, because anything can happen then, because the battery can go up in smoke.
That's right. Yeah, so many things are controlled by software now for driving cars, right?
So they don't want to do it.
They don't want.
The problem is that the license requires it. So what do you do in that case?
Oh, okay. Wow. But the thing is, though, if you allow, but that's another thing too. Does it kind of complicate into the fact that, I'm sure too, when people buying a car, most people won't go in and hack their software, right? But some do, right? I can kind of see.
And if that car then burns up, or
that's right.
something happens, it crashes, it's going 300 kilometers an hour,
That's right. Yeah.
But that's not good.
Yeah. But then in this case, is it then complicating their legal, right? But meaning that if you buy the car, they also have to have a clause that says, okay, in terms of the software, if you go in and change it, then it's at your own risk.
No, but they probably have like these keys. So it's like so they are in conflict with this Free Software Foundation. But the way the Free Software Foundation work is they usually try to have a discussion with people that are breaking the sort of license agreement, right? And then they try to solve it the peaceful way. But it's been going on for a few years because the problem is the only way around it really is to rewrite the entire GPL3 stack, and that's probably a lot of work.
That's true too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But okay, so talking about which, then have you seen anybody really getting into trouble? Perhaps like not terrible trouble, but still, have you seen any hackers trying to like change their software and then they run into problems and then they try to bring it up attention by trying to have some kind of legal thing? Have you seen? Actually,
I never see that, but I mean, if you buy a router and you screw it up, okay, I mean, you might try to get it on a warranty, but I don't think it's going to create this big mess. But the car is a completely, it's much bigger investment.
Right.
It can kill people.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
But,
yeah.
But there have been many cases where this Free Software Foundation have driven a process against big companies and been winning these processes. And the very famous one was against Cisco that bought, I think, Linksys.
Yeah. Okay.
And when they bought Linksys, what they didn't know was that, or what they didn't look at least, was that these Linksys routers was built a lot on GPL2 software.
Something, yeah. Okay.
So then, I think it was just GPL2 at that time, but then they have like these hacker activists going on. So they check this hardware and look for signatures in the files that confirms it's GPL software. And then they contacted Cisco and say, we would like to have the source code for the router because that,
it's required, yeah.
Yeah. And then Cisco said, no way. And then they said, see you in court. And in the end, the Free Software Foundation won that court battle, and Cisco had to pay an undisclosed amount of money as well as opening up the entire source code.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a kind of messy kind of situation.
So that's why people these days, when they buy, I talk about, if you have a startup company, be sure to keep track of at least what open source software license you're using, because
that's right.
If someone going to buy you out, they're going to look at what you're using, and if you have a complete mess, they cannot take the risk, regardless how good it is.
Okay, well, good point. Yeah. I can see that these things don't always happen, but certainly, I mean, like you said, any companies, right? They have to be careful how they go into license their open source thing. Yeah, well, good point.
Here's my last open license question for you here, right?
Yeah.
So, what open source license is content on Stack Overflow using?
Oh, good question. Stack Overflow. What license they're using?
Is it using any license? So, when you have the content on Stack Overflow, what license is governing that?
I have no idea. I mean, right now,
it's on the front page. I can show you.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, you can show. You want to share and
you can go if you go to Stack Overflow.
Okay. Yeah, Stack Overflow. Okay, let me kind of open up something. Yeah.
This is, I think, just a fun reader because everybody uses Stack Overflow, but nobody knows the answer to his question. I haven't met anyone that knows the answer.
All of these things are never okay. Let me kind of make myself a little bit so I won't block. But hold on a sec. I'm kind of blocking this whole page, so let me kind of make myself smaller. Yeah. Okay. Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can go to normal Stack Overflow page. If does you click the logo, or I don't know what this is. I never see this because I'm obviously logged in.
Oh, okay. This is kind of weird, right? Stack Overflow for Teams.
Maybe if you can click the Stack Overflow thing there, should we go to the proper site?
Oh, to a proper. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why this is like that.
Maybe it's because you're not logged in, I think.
Oh, because I need to log in, right? Yeah, okay. I can log in too. Oh, really? They kind of require people to log in now? Well,
but you can probably get there. But I think the reason you don't see it is, I don't know.
Maybe just say search content. Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, so it's on this page, right?
It's on this page. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
You go back.
Oh, so it's listed about.
Yeah, it's here on this page.
Oh, so I go to
where
about.
Is it? Yeah, but that's not the page. Yeah, but if you go back,
go back. Okay.
And you scroll to the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. You see it?
Wait.
It's not very obvious.
Not obvious at all. Yeah.
It's on the bottom right corner, I think.
Oh, this one. Oh, license under CC by SA. This one, right?
And you know what that is, right?
Creative Commons. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know.
And you see, it's even more complicated because it is. When is this post being posted? Because they switch license over time.
Oh.
So when you copy code from Stack Overflow,
and
it depends on the date when it's posted, which license it's governing.
Oh, so that's why over here they said if you content contributed. So depending on when you copy the software they use, you go by that particular CC by SA rule. Oh, okay. Interesting.
And as mentioning this licensing, I mean, I like talking about licensing, so I'm going to do that right now. But
sure,
so
please do.
When you write code, you're the copyright holder for that one. So as you write copyright holder, you decide who can use it. And if you write code, I can't use it unless you tell me to. And the way you tell me to is that you have a license. And the license regulates the terms and conditions under how I can use the software. So if there was no license, that would mean no usage, and that's bad. So having a license is much better than a no license. No license means can't use it.
Oh, okay.
Many developers tend to think there is no license, and this is interesting because on GitHub, the default option is no license on the GitHub repo. And no license on GitHub repo means I can't use this because I don't know, because you, as a writer, are the copyright owner. I can't use it. You control who can use it. So a license is a good news, right? But you need to know what the license means, and what does CC by SA mean?
That's right. Yeah, that's the thing, right? What does it? Yeah, I don't know what it means too. Let's take a look. Let's see.
I think you can click one of these links and you get to something. Yeah. So this is Creative Commons share like.
Share like. Okay, so you're free to share, which means copy and redistribute the material in any medium format, and then adapt and remix and transform. It can all these things. I build upon the material.
And that's all. That's all very good, right? Amazing. But then you have certain terms.
The terms, okay. So you must give appropriate credit, okay? Provide a link to the license and indicate if changes were made. Wow, you may do so in any reasonable manner, but not in any way that suggests the licensor and endorses, or the licensor endorses you or your use. And then share like.
So do you typically so that is the first step. You have to give attribution to the copyright owner here.
That's right. Yeah.
To do so. So where do you do it? How do you do it in your software? I don't think many people think about it. But here's the kicker. That's the easy part. The hard part is share like.
Share like. Okay. So if you remix, transform, or build upon the material, you must distribute your contributions under the same license as the original. So. Okay,
it's a buyer license. That is what this says. So it's kind of the same as GPL, whereas GPL says if you take it in and mix it and do stuff, it becomes GPL. So if you mix this code with your code becomes Creative Commons by SA.
Okay.
Which is an open source license.
Yeah, that's right. So in that case, same license, meaning that right now we're CC by 4.0. So in other words, I do have to do it like CC by 4.0 for this particular. Let's say if I copy it now, the current version, right?
You copy code and you put it in your code. If you read this the worst possible way for you, then your code becomes Creative Commons by SAG as well.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Now, sometimes people talk about fair use and snippets, and you cannot copyright 5 lines of code, and there are things like that, right? But
that's right.
If you copy a substantial amount of work from Stack Overflow,
that's right.
It's probably governed under CC by SA.
By SA, that's right.
And then you, But everybody does it, and everybody kind of put on this. We're not seeing anything here.
That's right. That's the thing too. Yeah. But also over here, notices is interesting too. It says you do not have to comply with the license for elements of the materials in a public domain or where your use is permitted by an applicable exception or limitation. So basically, you can still kind of argue, right, that or appeal to it by saying that I don't want to comply. So, but you have to do exception.
I'm not sure. I haven't read what that means. But it mentions public domain, which is if it's certain work long after it's written becomes part of everybody owns it. I suppose is the thing. So everyone keeps it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you. Wow, those are interesting to know. I mean, not that I'm planning on doing any open source thing in the meantime or borrowing anything right now. So
but if you take a substantial amount of work and you copy paste it into your Hive work in Hive MQ,
that's true.
Now, are Hive MQ okay that this code now becomes Creative Commons by SA?
That's true. Yeah, true.
You're still a copyright owner.
That's true.
But the terms of using the code from Stack Overflow is that you have to make sure that the code you mix it in with becomes the same license. You release it on the same license.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. So I have to be.
So your closed source software might suddenly be open source.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So I have to be very careful if I
mean
to do this.
But here, do you know what GitHub Copilot is?
What is it? You say what is
GitHub Copilot? Have you heard about that? GitHub.
Oh, GitHub. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. GitHub. Yeah.
Copilot.
I don't know. Then that I don't know.
So GitHub Copilot is a new, for many people, exciting piece of tech, which gives you smarter. Do you call it IntelliSense in the environment you're using? Smarter code suggestions.
Oh, okay.
And the way it works is that it, as far as I understand, is that it has analyzed GitHub, all open source projects under GitHub. And it then uses a very powerful, I think it's called GTP3, very powerful sort of natural language processing thing to sort of say, given the previous context, I'm going to guess at what you want. Like a super powered IntelliJ or IntelliSense or whatever you want to call it. So you can write a comment, give me an algorithm to open a connection to a Hive MQ or whatever, right? And it probably spits out something that kind of works.
That's right. Okay.
But
that is wow.
But they also got into a little bit of problems during licensing because what license this code that these things pops up? What license is that? Because
that's right. Because
that's a very difficult question, I think, to answer properly. Some people say don't worry about it, but I think they don't know what they're talking about.
That's true.
Because what happened was that if you wrote certain queries, it spit out verbatim GPL3 code.
That's
because
true.
it's been trained on that code. So it had that.
That's right. Good point. Good point. Yeah, but you're right. If this thing, right? Yeah, if it's kind of the code is generated by this AI, the bot, right? And then how do you deal with that? Good question.
Yeah, because the GPL talks about derivates. So it talks about code that have derivated is a derived code from from the original code, right? And this is derived code. It has gone through a machine learning.
That's right.
Algorithm, but it's still the code is derived from it. So I think you can argue it applies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm right, but
that's right. Yeah, but like as you were talking, so I was trying to search, but I'm not seeing any information on the legal and this kind of legal.
No. Yeah, this is just a tech project, right? The legal, I think, was a surprise to them that some people brought up this as an issue.
Yeah,
right? But as a very boring developer as I am, that was the kind of first thing I thought about. Is like, but how does that work with the licensing question?
It work for license? Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe you can raise that question up. And
People have done it. There are people
that's right.
much worse than me.
Yeah, but well, thanks for alerting us to this.
But one of the things is they haven't scanned, as far as I know, their private repositories, because they don't want private source code to leak out in the public, obviously.
Oh, true.
But why? But for some reason, it's like, why is that any different? Right?
Yeah,
because if you're saying that this license doesn't apply here, the GPL license apply, well, then the copyright ownership probably doesn't apply for private repos. So just scan the private repos.
That's right. Yeah.
So somehow you have to make up your mind there. But I'm ranting too much here.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's good. Yeah. So thank you for sharing. We kind of talk about something outside of the original intent, but that I think is still good. Yeah. So it's still good to know. It's good to be aware of things like that. Yeah. So,
but it could be worth a try for you. GitHub Copilot. Many people swears by it. They think it's pretty cool.
That is very cool. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know about it, so it will be kind of interesting just to see. Yeah,
I think you can apply it to try, and I think it's possible. And some people, they really like it. They think it's amazing.
Really like it?
And
okay, yeah, okay. That's like I said, yeah. Aside, I mean, not talking about the original. You talk about the.
But I mean, it could be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Can you create HiveQ? I don't know what you do in HiveQ connection, and does it spit out the working thing? Yeah, that would be cool.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should just give it a try, just for testing purpose, right? Yeah. Maybe like.
And maybe you make demos. You could use GitHub Copilot. Look how easy it is to set up HiveQ. You just type blah blah blah, and use GitHub Copilot, and you just done in 30 seconds.
That's true. That part. Okay. Well, thanks for that suggestion. Let me take a look a little more. Like you said, I still need to be careful if we decide to use this, because of if I'm not now going to touch on my company's source code or something, right? Then
But I mean, if you a developer advocate, that's what you said you were, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I am.
So I assume then that your role is a little bit as well demonstrating, HiveMQ and and
that's right.
And then I think if you could use GitHub Copilot, I mean, that could be a great demo. I think potential.
Okay. Yeah, potential. Yeah, just to try something different. You're right. Yeah, I should definitely give that a try now that you piqued my interest. So yeah, I should try and do it next time, maybe. This way too. Like I said, I just wanted to be sure, right, before I understand this before anything, And like I said,
because I think the killer feature of GitHub Copilot for me would be, I'd probably turn it off if I know stuff very well. Okay. But let's say I would need to start with HiveMQ, which I don't know almost anything about. Then I would probably, if I had GitHub Copilot, I would say, create a HiveMQ connection, see what I get. And maybe I get some classes and get some methods. And okay, I don't really understand what's going on, but at least I have something. And now I can Google on it and find documentation. So you're just getting this skeleton code, I think is a fantastic use case for GitHub Copilot to sort of get you started with something.
To start something. Well, I see where you're getting at. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Yeah. I should give that a try. Yeah, that's right.
And if you have a new language you don't know, I'd probably try Copilot to see,
In fact,
create a loop 1 to 10. Yeah, it can do things like that.
That's exactly. But as you know too, right? We can use it for writing a client or something too, right?
Yeah.
This thing was actually over here, right? So this is that, and I meant to say. So HiveMQ, we have. You can write Java client, you can write C++ client, and all kinds, right? JavaScript and all of these things. So that might be a good thing, because if you go into here, this is the block, but I wanted to show how do we write client to talk to the broker, kind of thing. Where is it? Sometimes I can't find. Can't find things, documentation. Okay, this is just MQTT, but I wanted to say this here. There's actually a section on how do you write client to. So, or maybe let's go back to getting started. So folks, okay, now we're getting into what I was intending to, but that's okay. This is kind of fun too. MQTT. Okay, so the broker, and then there's also the client too. I thought that was in here, but in any event, if we follow too, that might be good. Is to how do we get started? All these things, right? Backup, general configuration. Actually, installation.
So is the queue running on the cloud or is it running locally?
This one you can. It's local. Yeah. So basically, too. One of the things. Let me kind of do a quick is getting started. Good. I've already done that part, but maybe the last one time, right, or a couple times. So let me kind of go back. You can actually just use the Docker version. I think that's the quickest. But let me again search for my command line. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Okay, here we go. That's my command line. So what I'll do is, you know what? Oh, here we go. I thought this way too. We can try things out as we're going along, right? So, okay, so getting started. Let's kind of follow this. Might be the fastest here. We make it easy for you. So download and install, run HiveMQ with, using Docker. So the only thing you would need is to have a Docker desktop, but you then essentially too should be able to run this Docker run. But the last was funny though. When I was trying just blank, then somehow it didn't work. But I was told that I don't need anything. It's just simply Docker desktop will work, or your Docker CLI, right? So that's what I have. And so now I have installed also the HiveMQ installation. You can also follow how to install it too. So let's kind of go back in here. If you can also install it on your desktop. So basically install from a download package too. But like I said, I already have this. So I don't know if it's actually required, but otherwise too, you should be able to say run it with just
Is there an admin tool you can look at the queues and things like that?
Yeah, I can look at it too. There's an admin tool. That's correct. So I already brought it up. So this is the admin tool. Yeah. So dashboard, I should be able to say, refresh. Maybe it needs to redo it again because I log on before. Okay, but this is just how many like clients, all of these things. But the thing is, let me kind of quickly show is that so my is still running in here basically. Yeah. And but what would you like to look at right now?
No, but I was wondering, do you create a queue here? Is that how you typically do? You create a queue, Mary's queue or Morten's queue?
Oh, I see. Yeah. So the thing is that it's basically not. They don't use queue. It's topics, right? So when you publish, then you can So, but the thing is too. Let me show you. But so by default, this is the default broker that just starts by itself. The broker is running. So basically here too, let me go back into my directory where I have already, but I wanted to kind of show the step, right? If you want to try it out, you can go to this getting started guide here. And I'm on here, right? So you, no, I meant to say running Docker. I'm not kind of getting into the right thing. And this guy. I guess I might have clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. And so now this is the localhost 8080. That's where I'm showing you the the console. And like I said, everybody can try this out too. And then next step is to do the client. So that's what we want to do. The client part is what I'm looking at. As such too, you can write client using different languages. Supports a lot of things in here. Yeah. In fact, there's also this project called Eclipse Paho is essentially for you to develop, or actually I should say they have different language support using Eclipse Paho for developing MQTT clients. So, but over here too, what I've done was over here, MQTT JavaScript. I was just thinking that might be the fastest. So the only thing you would need is just Node. If you want to do that.
Yeah, but Node is quite big. So,
Yeah, Node is totally, yes, really big. But in terms of, any user wanting to do it, because, okay,
Python might be quite quick. Python is kind of usually quite...
do it in Python? Okay, yeah.
I'm sure I would do it in Python, but
sure,
it's quite...
yeah, you're right.
Usually not so big and quite easy to get gone.
You're right. Yeah, Python isn't as big, but for now, just to kind of quickly show you, right? You can basically download or clone this website right from here. Clone this guy, and actually, let me send to everybody if there anybody looking to the MQTT. Want to share JS client sample, right? If anybody is online wanting to kind of try things out, right? So I just send you, and this is this page. So you just need to clone this, and so I've already cloned it over here. So I've already cloned it. So essentially, too, there's an example.js, and so without, okay, that's an interesting thing over here, right? This is the simplest kind of client you can think of. So all you need is just set up your client and do a MQTT.connect. And okay, so here's the thing. Was surprising. I was actually trying out HTTP and it works, but I'm expecting MQTT, right? You're supposed to be able to do MQTT. But
not HTTPS, but suppose that you need a certificate, right?
Yeah, that's right. If it's yeah, I can use HTTPS. Oh, actually, I didn't try HTTPS, but you're right. I can try to connect and see. But the thing is, too, is interestingly, there's also another free kind of broker you can try things out. It's the Eclipse Mosquito one too. So, but in any event, yeah. So
so you have a topic called presence here. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the presence is already what's been created in the default HiveMQ, like over here, right? I already brought up the HiveMQ, and the way I do it, I just run the Docker. So basically, folks, if you want to try out, just bring up. This is the fastest, right? Just run Docker. So if I go back in here, right? Was it this one or that one? No, the getting started over here. If you just download and start it, just running this will do it for you right away. So that's what I did, and so my HiveMQ broker started, but over here too, well, I've started my control center. There's also TCP listener on address 1883 and all these things, and WebSockets listing on 800 and like that. I don't know why it is like printing out twice. Yeah, these two lines are printing twice, but they mean the same thing.
No, but it's starting and started. So I'm starting, and then it says I'm started.
Oh, starting and then stopping? Really? It's stopping?
Yeah, there's a difference. It says starting. Is it starting up?
Oh, started. Yeah, I think it means started, maybe. Yeah, starting and then started.
So now things can crash. The WebSocket might be busy.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so this is running, but let me go back to this client here, right? So very simple, the simplest thing, but it already has a topic called presence in here. And actually, I should say the publish is the one that creates it. That's what I should say. So this guy, if you do a client.publish, and that's when the topic gets created.
Yeah, but that sounds like you want to publish this message on that topic. But what if the topic doesn't exist? Is it created then, or?
Yeah, so basically when you publish, and that's when the well, wait, you're right. Actually, it's a good question too. Does the topic gets created by default as I'm publishing? I thought that's what it is doing in HiveMQ's case too. It gets published, yeah. So okay, but in any event, that's what it's doing, and then all it's doing is just print out the string. So let's do that, right? So here I am. If I'm doing this, let me kind of go here, and let's say I'm like connecting this to MQTT, and
I'm just asking questions. I don't know, so I'm just.
No, great question. Yeah, because otherwise too, I just thought let me quickly show, but I need to be able to explain it. So let me do this, and this one is an HTTP. Yeah. The local host says, just so I know, and then I'm just gonna hard code this. Okay, for now. Okay, so now I should be able to, because I have Node, I should be able to do that. Yeah. Oops. Example .js. So okay. So see, this is strange because earlier when I'm doing HTTP connection, why is it not printing out, right? So let's do it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's kind of go back because I was able to get it to work early. I was connecting, localhost 1883.
You know what? So the thing I thought about when you showed me was that it said it's listening on a WebSocket, and then you have a TCP listener, and I think this is the TCP listener.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the thing is too, you can also do the if it's I can use MQTT too as the connection. So let me take a look. Because I thought I tried earlier, it didn't work. But let me do this. Node example.js. There we go. So now if I do MQTT connection, and that's what is able to connect now. So it gets printed. Yeah. But the thing is too, I wanted to show is that there's let's copy.
But what is this? This log message. What is this? I didn't understand the code there. What happened?
What is it? I'm sorry. Yeah.
The code there. When you had. So client.on message. What does that?
Okay, on message is basically, I think it's the client. So when it receives the message, then it will. You're right. Yeah, because.
Okay, because we're subscribing to this.
Subscribing to this, but we're subscribing to before the topic is there. You know what would be fun to try it out too is let's test it if actually the topic gets created as you are doing thing, right? So let's do something like we say who's
Presence 2 would be my obvious.
What is let me see. Okay, here we go. I kind of not very good with VI, but
if you press escape and then you click U.
U.
It's undo.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh wait.
Escape. Yeah. U. Like USA. Like
okay. Oh, like this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you press it a number of times, you should get things back if you want to.
I see. Yeah. But for now, I'm just kind of wondering too. So let's say now I'm not in insert mode. So let me kind of go back in there. Okay. If I do insert and let's call it like, let me subscribe to a topic that's kind of called random something, right? And then it's actually, if I then publish, I do a publish. I wonder if it would work or not. If I random. Okay, random, and then let me. Okay, let's do that, right? So I wonder if it would actually create that topic for me, right? Yeah, and then so basically too, when the client actually gets the message, then they will also print it out.
Can we log the topic as well to see what the topic, because you got it in.
Okay. Oh, you print out the topic, right over here, right? Yeah, I guess how. Good question. Oops, I'm still in insert mode, I think. Right. Okay. Wait, am I doing it? Okay, so I could do it console.log. In this case, right? So it would be, how do I print out the topic? Is it
maybe topic.toString works? Just
let's see what, I don't know if it is, but let's take a toString.
What's the worst can happen?
Yeah, it's just to see what happens, right? Yeah, I otherwise have to look at the documentation, but we're being creative. Okay, no example.js. Let's see what happens. Oh, actually, it's a random. Yeah.
It seems to work.
Right. Yeah.
But does this then topic appear in this admin UI?
Good question. That's the thing. That's what you're looking at, right? Here. Okay. Good question. And dashboard. If I go back to dashboard, I think. Good question. Yeah, I wonder.
Where do you see the topics? Or do you see the topics?
Do I see the topics? So that's the thing. And how do I find out cluster? Well, there's one node. I don't know whether the topics is being printed out there.
I need to go very close here to see. It doesn't say topic. It says subscriptions. It says clients. Tailed messages.
Where do you see the subscription? Okay. Oh, you mean over here? Subscribe. Oh, okay. Yeah. This is over here, right? Subscription.
Yeah.
Refresh. Can I do?
I suppose if we start a client, we would see the client in the client list, right? But
in the client. Okay. Sure.
No. But the client is dead now. But if you had a loop in the client, so let's say we loop and we wait a little bit between each.
A loop. Okay, I see what you mean. So in other words, if I do like outside, right, I can just say something like, is it? While.
No, but then the problem is then the client is recreated each time. So that's.
Something like that, right? No.
I don't think this is having. It might work, but.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying
the issue is that in that case, the client is recreated each time, right? But I was thinking if you could keep the client open, the client should be visible here.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
If we have the sleep inside the, I don't know.
Oh, I see. The model true. Is it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It was just, I was just curious to see if you could see the client and the subscriptions.
Client as subscription. Yeah, and I see what you mean. But you're saying that this might not work because
because the client is destroyed each time. And so we might see it, but we probably won't see it.
Yeah,
it's my guess. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but in any event, if I have my console, well, although you're right, I need to have it like displayed in real time, right? This client situation,
and it starts and disappears extremely quickly, right?
Really quick. Yeah. Okay. So in other words,
if we could create a client and put a loop, and then we sleep. How do you sleep in Node? I don't know, but it's probably possible.
That's true too. But so you're saying in here because
so this publish, right? We should have a while loop around it. But the problem, but we want to subscribe on the message before we publish, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so
exactly.
We want to move the publish down. I'm just guessing. So
okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, even I'm kind of thinking, that makes sense. So some kind of like for some kind of while.
Yeah, but we only want to subscribe once, right?
Yeah, that's right. We So in other words, then the publish, we keep publishing is what you're saying.
Yeah,
maybe like
we want to move the publish below the client. Because we're listening. It probably works, but we are listening to this. We are registering this event.
Listen. Right? Yeah.
So this publish should be moved below client.on, right? The way I'm thinking about it.
Oh. So you're saying publish should be done.
Can we try that? Do you want to try that?
Sure, let's try it.
So if you hit escape.
Okay.
And then you put the cursor on the same line as the client.publish.
Okay. Oh, the cursor on the same one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you press DD.
DD, okay.
Yes. And then you go down below the client.on.
Okay, below
that one. Below that.
Yeah, this one?
And Shift P.
Okay, sorry. Shift P. Oh, to kind of wait. Because I removed escape. Okay.
Shift P.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Does
this work?
Okay. But then it wouldn't, well, the console won't print it out because you're... No, you don't think so?
I'm not sure. Can we try it?
We try it. Yeah, sure. Okay, all right then.
I'm not sure at all. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay, yeah, so now it doesn't get print out, right? Yeah. But you're saying...
To me, that's strange.
It's strange?
I thought here that we were registering... so I don't understand how this works, but because for me it seems here we are registering the event handler before we're publishing it, but now it doesn't seem to work. I don't know. Okay, well.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I don't understand how this works.
Oh, yeah. No, but it makes sense. I like it, the fact that you are asking about this because, even with this, but isn't it? I'm trying to say. I see what you mean. Because if I say this is essentially just telling it, okay, we can have my client do this, but it's basically publish will make that happens. It should still happen. I think I see what you.
So the way I interpret this program is that we are saying we want to listening to things happening on the random channel by calling client.subscribe.
Yeah.
And then we are publishing this message. But then I thought we were registering this event handler for the subscriptions. From when we got it on this client.on. So in my head, this ordering makes more sense, but it didn't work.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I can see what you mean now that I think about you. You're right too. It shouldn't matter because we do the subscription first, and then by the time you publish, it should still be doing what this is supposed to be doing. The on message.
I don't understand. Sophia, what happened? If you move this thing back, do you want to do that?
Okay, DD, right? It's just going back and then Shift P, right? Okay.
Yeah. Does it work now again?
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Good question. That's the kind of question we want to read. Okay. Oh, this doesn't work. This is strange. I think this is what I had run into too. earlier.
Because it worked just above, right?
Yeah, it's just earlier today too. I was trying this out. And
but
it was so that's why I thought, let me see HTTP. Then with HTTP, it seems like it did happen, unless there's some delay.
But
when it published.
Well,
right?
So, but before it worked right before, right?
It worked before.
You see that at the top there.
Yeah, at the top.
Example,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, earlier, right? When we try it over here. Yeah, that's right. Because then when we do that, then it printed out.
So maybe.
Good. Those are very good, excellent question. Like you said, even though only a few lines that are ordering and the timing doesn't seem like it's working too good.
Okay, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, good question, but essentially too, at least we see a couple times it happens. It was able to work, but sometimes it doesn't work. So maybe that's the next thing I should be doing, is to kind of debug and kind of understand. But this would be good to know, because that's kind of explains.
I'm just curious. Can we get back? Can it back to working? So can you go VI? I'll not take
VI to it back. Okay, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so
because now it says MQTT, and that worked.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, like I said.
And now we're publishing on random, and that also seemed to work before. So why is this suddenly not working?
Suddenly not work. That's something is intriguing me too. I think it's worth it's exciting.
So here's my question: Can it be that MQTT has a deduplication mechanism in it, so that it detects that this message has already been published, and it deduplicates it? So let's say you change the message content to something else.
Oh, okay. So maybe we have something like maybe not say that.
Yeah, you just put something at 1, 2, 3, whatever, to make it unique.
Something, right? So okay. So this is we updated this, and we updated this, and and just to see. Okay.
No.
So it still doesn't work.
It was a theory.
This is Oh, here we go. Now all of a sudden it works this time.
Yeah, but does it only work sometimes? What happens if you run again?
Sometimes, right? Yeah, so that's the intriguing thing, and it's worth kind of taking a look into as to why. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The thing is, probably I should be doing is to turn on tracing on this this log on the server side too, and then maybe we can tell a more detailed tracking, right, to see what it is doing. Yeah, maybe that's the next thing.
I wonder if there's some race conditions between this when we're registering the event. What happens if you register the event before the subscribe?
Oh, before the subscribe, so register. Okay.
I'm just guessing, but I'm wondering if there could be some kind of this race condition here going on.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's that we're killing the process too quickly, right? Because it could be that we subscribe, we publish, and then we kill the process before we receive
before it receive. Yeah,
if you could get this sleep thing in, I think that could be good.
Yeah, sleep. Maybe the sleep is in here, right? To kind of before the end.
How do you sleep in?
Does it work?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I wonder. Is it how it is in even putting? Well, if I sleep too long, it may not work, right? I don't know if it works, but I'm assuming since I'm not a Node.js expert. But let's see. Okay, let's see. So now it should be sleeping. Oh, it doesn't because it doesn't have this syntax, right? So I think it's line 15. So I think maybe that's not the right syntax. Line 15.
But right now, it's probably not as easy as that, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you see. Yeah, so it's not sleep 30 like that. That's what I'm thinking. How do you do it in Node for sleeping?
Yeah, that's and here's the issue with Node is also with Node is also it's a single thread, so you don't want to block the thread. So here you probably want to do this. It's complicated, right?
It's complicated, yeah, but
this is easy in Java because you block the thread and then you're good.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not what you want to do in Node.
How to wait or something? Is there something wait or like you said? But isn't it like you said? You're saying that some kind of coroutines or something, right? Some sort of wait. You're not tying up that thread and maybe servicing this particular, kind of task.
I don't.
You know, it's a wait.
I don't know Node that well.
Yeah, me neither. But I just thought, but this is good. There's a wait.
How to pass?
1 second.
Many people have been asking this question though, so that's good.
Yeah, somebody is asking. You saying someone is asking or not? No.
Yeah, there are many people that be asking this question.
This question. Yeah, that's right. Node.js, wait 1 second. Something I found this one. Oh, well, it's actually more complicated. You need to use that promise thing, and then a function, and basically, oh, there's a timeout thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You can also like. Well, let me see which one, because I don't want to get it way too complicated, too much code. Wait, you can do await, sleep, and then there's a function. Well, we can maybe try something like that, and then it uses a function. I mean a promise thing.
I found a pretty simple example, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I'll send you that on Slack. Maybe it helps.
Not too bad. You found something? Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, too, I'm looking at this. Sleep in Node.js. I found, I don't know if this could do it, and
maybe you look at the same thing. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Are you looking at the same thing?
I sent you a link in this.
Wait sleep for 1000, and basically I have a function that make use of promise. But actually,
yeah, that seems similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't you need to declare this function before you use it? I don't know how the node works.
That's the thing. I don't know it enough to declare this somewhere.
And can you use a wait here? Yeah. This is exciting.
This is exciting. Do you think this would work?
I don't see. I mean, what's the worst can happen?
Yeah, that's true. Let's try it then. Yeah. I think sometimes that's the thing with JavaScript, right? Is it already built in something? Then you're right. Okay. Wait is only valid in async functions and the top level bodies of modules. Oh, okay, so I am not doing this correctly, obviously. Set timeout.
This is probably extremely simple if you know.
You know. Yeah, that's right. But it's maybe still. I kind of see this thing called set timeout. I don't know. Set timeout, is it like a system function? Okay, so let's do this. I think it's is it a well? Okay, well I can always copy it in. So I will just remove these. Okay, here we go.
Because we want to stop the process from dying. But what you can do is since this is a promise, right?
That's right. I see this thing, but I think it's. Do I need any other?
Maybe that's worth. Okay, but if you look at the link I sent you.
Oh, you sent a link. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's basically the same function, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see that.
That's okay.
Oh, there. Okay. Yeah. Oh, how to pause? Yeah, this one. I'm opening it up in here. Okay. Oh, okay. So
you see, they call it a little bit differently if you scroll down.
Okay, scroll down and over there, right? Set like function sleep, and then
looks very similar.
Promise. Okay.
But then when they call in the sleep function, instead of using a wait, they use this callback .then. And so what we could try is we call sleep, do .then, and we put client end inside the then thing.
Oh, annoying. Okay, so over here, right? Oh, it's forcing me to log on. Okay, all right. Yeah, I guess I can't.
Okay.
Oh, because Microsoft. Can I?
I can copy and paste the code for you, and I send it to you.
Sure, no
so
problem.
You don't have to.
Otherwise, yeah, quick enough. I should be able to copy and paste, right? Oh. I think it kind of gives you a few seconds first, right? This is really like annoying.
But
I'm sorry.
I sent you the code here, right? So what?
Yeah.
In
you
Discord
mean
here you see?
Okay. Just
in Discord.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That. Yeah. Go back to. That's strange. Okay. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. So basically, here I can just put it in here. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Let me kind of get rid of these things first, and I always have to do the escape first. Okay. Here. Kind of make some room in here. And then copy this guy, right? Yeah. Okay.
And now you move the client end instead of this console.log here, or you can keep the console.log, but you move client end into it. So we stop the client after 2 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. So
I have
basically,
no idea if this works.
me neither. But you're saying that I should put it in.
Put it after the log.
In the log here.
No,
right?
after the console. Is it what is it? Does it say geek? You put it after the console log the geek.
Oh, so the last one is over here. Oh, okay. I see. So kind of do it only after we perform this guy.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay.
Yes. So here you're doing a call. We are doing a callback, right? So we sleep for 2 seconds, and then it callbacks into then, and then we terminate the client.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's
so
worth
let's
trying.
see. Yeah, let's just okay. Let's give this a try. This is the try of the day. So before you need to go to bed. Okay, let's do it.
Getting a bit late here, actually. But the question is, does it always work now? That is what I'm wondering. So let's try it again. But it looks to behave right because
it does.
Because it waits now for 2 seconds, and then the client dies.
Yeah.
So maybe as a last try, shall we try to move what I want to do in the beginning? Because now what you have is you can actually, I don't know how to get it to work. So if you move this publish below client.on, because we tried it before and didn't work.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. We try it. Okay. I'm just going to not worry about that. And basically we do it right.
No, you want to put it before we sleep. So we want to publish. Not there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Publish. Yeah. Right before we sleep, we want to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then sleep, and then Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's give it a try. That will be another try of the day.
So now it prints it, right?
It prints it. Yes.
So try again.
So if it's consistent, then we know that.
Yes, now it's done twice.
Oh,
so it always works.
It always works. Yeah.
I don't know. It always works. But
that's cool. Thank you.
It could be that the reason it sometimes worked and doesn't work was that we killed the client before it got the message.
Before it gets
it. When we added sleep 2 seconds, it has time to sort of.
Wow, you're amazing. Thank you. That is cool.
Let's say you put in a timer for 20 seconds, and then we can see if the client appears. Sorry, I don't want to take all your time, but I'm curious, right?
This is great. Yeah, me too.
So if you sleep for 20 seconds.
20. Okay, so add one more.
So we have time to see in the user interface if it's in there.
Okay. What else did you see? Do I need to put in something else, or this is good? Just do a 20,000.
Yeah, but let's bring up the admin UI so we can refresh the screen.
Yeah. You're right. That's the whole purpose. Yeah, I almost forgot about that.
That was at least what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I want to see if you have a client or a subscription now in this admin view.
Yeah. Oh, cool. That's right. So let's do it like that. But I think then over here, will be the clients or the dashboard, right? Or should I be looking in the dashboard? Or
I think clients is the right one because we should see if you click clients, we should see this client appear here, right? I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No.
In the clients, right? Not
in
the dashboard.
Clients. Yeah. True. Yeah.
But
then
now there's nothing.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
But now
so
when we start it and wait before it's done and we refresh the screen, hopefully.
Yeah. Then. Okay, all right, then let's give it a try. So no example, right? But I should be able to say refresh. Yeah.
Oh.
Except it's a little slow. This thing. Yeah. Is it something in here? I think
it looks like that, right?
It looks like it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So now you can see your client.
So we can see it now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But that's good. Yeah, client not found, but that's okay.
But now it's gone because it terminated. But
this is something. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So basically, then we can actually do it like that, right? While true, and it's gonna kind of do an infinite. Is it like this? Well, actually.
Yeah, but then you get a new client each time it's done. So I think it's actually better to extend the timeout.
Oh, okay.
Because each time it's done, it's going to kill the client and start a new client.
That's right. That's
if
right.
that's what you want, that's fine. But then
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
I
if
was
you
just
start,
yeah.
what do you want?
No, I was just gonna say maybe if we kind of keep maybe not we can keep the client keep publishing. Can we do that? The client should be able to receive new messages, right? Every time if I
whenever you start a node, it's a new client because you start a new client each time you start a node, right?
Oh yes, you're right.
So
Yeah.
what you want to do, you want to have the loop inside the node
that
program, I think.
Right. You're right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right, then
But
that
at
will
least
be
we got that working.
Yeah, that's great. And because it's very late for you, I believe, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit tired here.
Yeah. You
but
should.
At least
you
I got the chance to talk about licenses.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it was fun too. I think that's the kind of thing I want to do. Just have folks joining. We're just testing something out, right? Even for me, it's still new, right? I have to get more in depth into this too. So yeah, but this is great. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you very much, and it's been fun.
I think GitHub Copilot could be a good idea to try out for you.
I like that idea. Let me play around, and if it's good, then let me show that next week too. Yeah, and you come and join me again.
I think you could write a comment in GitHub Copilot saying, "Create Hive MQ client."
Yeah, that's right.
And then it should spit out a function that does that.
Yeah,
and that would be a pretty cool demo, I think. So
yeah. True. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, let me try to get to it, and then I will invite you again too for next week. Yeah, when I'm ready to get this rolling. Yeah. Okay then. All right.
Thank you. Well, I thought it was fun too. So have a good day.
Yeah. You too. You have a good. Yeah. Thank you. Fußnabel. That's what you call.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Morten.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Let me see. So thank you very much. And it's a little getting late. So actually my screen doesn't look very good right now, but so it's time to go too for me. So, and thanks a lot, everybody. Yeah. See you.